AITA for wanting to divide our insurance payout fairly instead of covering all of my boyfriend's losses. My home of 35 years was lost last year due to a major incident. I owned the home. My boyfriend had lived with me for 10 years, and he contributed less than half of our total living expenses. He did not have his own insurance. My policy happened to allow me to include coverage for his belongings if I chose to. He is very fortunate that I selected that option long ago, without even realizing how it could apply to someone in his position. I am certain that if he were living anywhere else, he would not have gotten insurance on his own. For the past year and a half, I have been going through a very difficult process. I had to list every item we lost, meet with insurance representatives, work with attorneys, search for old receipts, and go through years of photographs to prove what we owned. I handled all of this by myself. I also spent tens of thousands of dollars paying for private adjusters and legal help. The only thing he contributed was giving access to his online purchase records. That was the extent of his involvement. The insurance company has now agreed to pay the maximum amount for personal belongings. That might sound positive, but the coverage is still not enough to replace everything that was lost. The total value of what we owned was significantly higher. On top of this, the payment for the house itself is not enough to fully rebuild it. I am facing very large out-of-pocket costs just to have a place to live again. He will not be helping with the rebuilding expenses. Because of this, I do not feel it is fair for me to absorb the entire financial burden alone. I suggested that we divide the payout in a balanced way, based on the value of our belongings. For example, if everything together was worth $100,000, and $70,000 of that were my things and $30,000 were his, then I would receive 70% of the payout and he would receive 30%. We would each accept the remaining loss on our own belongings. I believe this method is fair for both of us. I explained this to him, and asked him to listen. I thought that if he understood the reasoning, he would see that I am not trying to be unfair. However, he refuses to discuss it. He insists that he should receive full payment for all of his belongings, without any shared responsibility, and becomes upset when I try to talk about it. His unwillingness to understand or work together is extremely discouraging. It has even made me consider whether I should account for the hundreds of hours of work and stress I took on to make the claim possible at all. Seeing this side of him, especially during such a difficult and emotional time, has made me question our relationship. It hurts to feel like he expects me to handle everything alone while he simply benefits. AITA for wanting to divide the insurance payout proportionally instead of covering all of his losses.